going back. He's from South Africa. Kenya, the government hosted him. He's also going to West Africa and go back to the United States. His name is Dr. Michael Ben, who's one of the best plastic surgeons in the United States. He has several organizations. Currently, I will start with his role at the African Union. You have a business card, which of course everyone knows this card. He's right now the chairman of the Health and Social Council Special Envoy Diaspora Affairs.
It's on the streets that has the deformities on their faces and their bodies. And my son said, you know what, guess what? I have a good friend of mine, the doctor, well known in Beverly Hills, who I can speak to and see if he can visit Uganda. But as you know, Uganda didn't act so quickly, but the other countries did. But we made it possible to see that he comes, and he was like, even if I have to come there for a few, hours, I will come and visit Uganda. And here he is. And we are also, as well, Women at Work International, we are partnering with SSA Foundation that has a lot of kids that has those deformities on their faces. And we are already in touch with her. He's also going there to visit the foundation. So I had to call the minister, and the minister told me to call Dr. Okumalawo because she's out of country or out of Kampala.
She's in Nairobi right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys for having me. I want to say what I have to say. I think it would be more than rightful for Dr. Okumalawo and Dr. Okumalawo to say something.
Okay, definitely. So I really want to take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Michael Ben to the Minister of Health, Uganda. And I saw that it would be good that we initially had scheduled this meeting in the morning, and we had kind of mobilized a number of things, including most of our plastic surgeons, Dr. Sento Robert and others, but unfortunately they are not able to join us. But nevertheless, definitely they are ably represented by Dr. Alain Ross. And probably it will be good that she makes what is the status of plastic surgery and what do they see, and probably because they are the ones who are seeing it all.
Thank you very much. Dr. Evo, we update the benefits initially as an outreach program. There are so many organizations and countries that are doing outreach, and it's had its own benefits and some challenges. You operate for a week and you're gone. So the cost of care becomes attraction, so the benefits is compromised. And then later on, the College of Surgeons, East Central and Southern Africa, started local training. The first one had a training in Canada, a first plastic surgeon.
What year was that?
Yeah.
Some
years back. He's my teacher, so that was some years back. So currently practice. Yes, that's what I'm. Yeah, currently practices is almost 10. Plastic surgeon, with half of it being the senior plastic surgeons, and then the other 5 are newly qualified plastic surgeons. So we've moved in. Setting up a training center as well for plastic surgery and relying on the college. So the workload is big, especially those children she's talking about, because if you go, you see them, and you agree with me that it's for craniofacial plastic surgery. And craniofacial is high in skilled plastic surgery, and the cost of care is a challenge. Yes. So it's a complex surgery that we tend to do a little bit. And of course also the nature of disease, in a sense that people come to the advanced stage of the manifestation, and that affects the output as well. But there is quite a lot of work. We are all based within the city and a little bit in the western, but the majority of the country doesn't have. Yes. So they rely on satellite visits. So the only center that we have that is really at a higher level is the band unit. So most of us, it's under the teaching hospital, the Ministry of Health. Are very key. We started with the collaboration with an organization from Holland. So,
about me, I'm a board certified plastic surgeon. I'm a healthcare consultant, and I also run a nonprofit called Restore Worldwide, Foundation for Reconstructive Surgery. I wear many hats, but I was born and raised and bred on this continent. I was born and raised in Ghana. I had the opportunity to go to America 26 years ago. I've always looked back to where I was born, because to grow up in Ghana, and I was like many other African kids who did not have anything, just a great opportunity and just a sheer perseverance to excel in life, and of course with the help of God, got me where I am today. I'm here today because of the invitation of these people, Ambassador, and come and look at the state of healthcare. The state of healthcare in Uganda. As I said earlier, I'm a plastic surgeon by day. That's how I make my living. And I run a nonprofit called Restore, which is the Foundation for Reconstructive Surgery. Restore has been in existence for about 10 years. Last year was our 10th anniversary. And we have been to over 7 different countries. We have done over 700 surgeries in the last 10 years. And if you were to put a numerical value in US dollars, about 35 million. Surgical care is very expensive. Dr. Millennial will alert you. It's very expensive, but when God gives you so much, in my case, what you can do is to reach out and help your brothers and sisters. And that's why I started Restore. We took our first trip in 2008 to Ghana. At the time, 2008, I became a qualified plastic surgeon in 2006. 2007, I was recruited after I left Harvard to be the chief of plastic surgery at a Catholic hospital in the Northeast Ohio, Youngstown, where I served as chief of plastic surgery at St. Elizabeth Boardman Health Center for 5.5 years until I moved to Los Angeles. And when people think about plastic surgery is, when you talk about plastic surgery these days, they think it's cosmetic surgery. They think it's aesthetic surgery. But plastic surgery, as Dr. Alema will agree with, it goes way back. It goes way back 2,500 years before Christ was born. We're doing plastic surgery. And the word plastic it comes from the Greek word plastikos, meaning to mold. So as plastic surgeons, we have been equipped with the tools and the skill set to mold, to transform tissue, to change things. And of course, the imagination of the human mind. When you say, well, I can do that, I can do this, the next thing you know, aesthetic surgery. But plastic surgery became very popular after World War I, when all the war victims, trauma, Dr. Gillis in New Zealand's plastic surgeon by the time was working in London. And that's how plastic surgery took off. And up to today, the majority of plastic surgery that is performed in the world, even in the United States, I would say over 70% of it is still reconstructive surgery. So the capacity to build for reconstructive surgery is a huge need all over the world. Not just here. Even if you look at Ghana, for example, as I was saying, in 2008, when I first started going to Ghana, At the time, Ghana had 5 plastic surgeons. Actually 5 and a half. And I always say half because there was a professor from Scotland. I think it was Scottish or Welsh. He used to come to Ghana and help. He helped them build capacity. He also helped raise money to build the first brain center, the biggest brain center in Accra. And you know, now plastic surgery has evolved in Ghana. They have 12. I've been around plastic surgery for 10 years in Ghana, and every year it gets better. We've been to Mexico, Guatemala, Ghana, of course, met several times, Gabon, Brazzaville. I'm going back there to set up the day that we can do. And that's where we are today. I've been to Nigeria, I've been to Laos, next to Cambodia. So this is a passion, something I love to do because I feel like I'm blessed. God has given me so much. So when Hindi asked me, could you go to my country? I said, of course, you know, like my partner, I'll come. So some of the things that we do, you know, and I'm glad that we have plastic surgeons in the room, and I'm glad that Uganda has plastic surgery. You guys are very lucky people, very lucky country. Because not every country, Togo, a population of 11 million, they don't have a plastic surgery. Unless they have one. 2-3 years ago, they did not have a single plastic surgery. Gabon, 1.2 million, not a single plastic surgery. You know, so the need for specialized surgeons is very much needed in our continent. Capacity building, as the doctor to my left, Dr. Olara, said, is much needed. But Dr. Anya also said something that's also very important, because most volunteers, they come, they spend 1 week, most 2 weeks. You cannot solve the country's problem in a week or 2, not even in a decade. It takes time. It takes more trained professionals to be in the field. And that's one thing that's lacking in almost every country. And the way we have been doing things, every time we go to a country, like I started first going to Ghana, we always ask the surgeons about the problems they face. We identify problems, and then we design educational programs and educational programs to help aid what they are lacking or what they are, what they are going through. So, for example, and I'll use Ghana because Ghana has been the recipient of many of our services. When we first started going to Ghana, the biggest need was they were okay to do cleft lip and palate. They were okay. They had teams that come. You know, as we all know, Operation Smart goes everywhere, but they are limited. They do only cleft lip and palate. You know, there are more deformities that we see every day on a daily basis that it's not just cleft lip and palate. You know, women missing breast cancer. You know, women were dying at the age in their 40s because of the fact that they were afraid to have their breast removed, which is, you know, in medical term, mastectomy, because the surgeons at the time were not equipped to do breast reconstruction. Okay? So there are so many issues, and you know, I'm here to listen. I'm here to help, and I've made a promise to Mama, to Mr. Milton, that, you know, I'm going to bring a group of volunteers to come and serve the people of Uganda. One of the biggest issues is, of course, a week or 2 weeks we're not solving problems. And you know, throughout my decade of doing this, I realized there's more than a week. You know, we can't do this in a week. We can't do this in 2 weeks. So you know, I reached out to some friends of mine, a lot of consultants, and I brought them under one group, one umbrella, and created a new company called Global Health Solution. And Global Health Solution is there to bridge the gap between what we do and what we don't do, and also to help bridge the gap between morbidity and healthy living. You know, I truly believe that, and I've always said this, that a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. And I pull up here, the bus had a sign. Yeah, but I've been saying that, you know, and I'll send you my brochure for Global Health. So what Global Health Solution does, Restore is a non-profit. Restore, nobody pays for anything. Restore has been in existence because of people like yourself, donation from people that we seek. Yes, I have personally put about $300,000 of my own money to get it going, to get it where it is today. And now we rely heavily on donation from people. Good people want to do good things. Most of the countries that we go, sometimes we find partners, we find big corporations, so that they can do their part of corporate social responsibility. We all have a responsibility to help one another. So the Global Health Solution was created so that we can build capacity for a long term. So I always give the example. I'm working with Gabon on this right now. We're still going through back and forth there. So I set out with a group of doctors. Their biggest need, when I spoke to, at the time, the CEO of the hospital, the general hospital, they did not have heart health. Cardiac health was a big problem. So, in the middle of the night, if somebody's having a heart attack, or if somebody who needs a bypass, a heart surgery, they have to be flown to South Africa. They have to be flown to Morocco, to Belgium, to France. And it's not realistic. It does not solve the problem. You cannot rely on outside surgeons to treat conditions in terms of emergency. The window of opportunity, if somebody's having a heart attack, you have about 2 to 3 hour window of opportunity. Even in the Western countries where medicine is so far advanced, 2/3 of the people who will make it to, 1/3 will not make it to the hospital, they will die having a heart attack. And the 2/3 that makes it to the hospital, about 40% will also not survive. What do you think our chances are when we live in a community where infrastructure is not up to date, equipment are not up to date, and personnel are not up to date? So to make a long story short, we've designed a program for them where, and Dr. Alenya will agree to it. One of the biggest problems that we face in Africa, in developing countries, when we send our surgeons, our doctors to go train in different countries, a lot of times is watch. You just watch. America will not let you touch patients because you don't have a license. So even if I invited Dr. Alenya, thank God I have my own surgery center. I have a mini hospital. Okay, I don't need the government's permission. So far as I can ask the patient, hey, this is Dr. Alenya, is a colleague from Uganda. Do you mind if she scrubs him? If the patient says yes, there's no red tape. You can come and spend time. So, but for the majority of it, when people go to big institutions in the university, you cannot touch a patient. And the biggest frustration in Congo, Brazzaville, and Gabon, where I've talked to doctors, is, oh yeah, we got sent to Belgium to go learn how to do cardiac catheterization. This is when somebody is having a heart attack. When it's abroad, you can take a catheter, a little piece of a string, metallic string, put it through the veins, all the way to the heart, to dislodge the clot, so there will be more blood flow. But it's like learning how to ride a bicycle. How can you ride a bicycle by watching? You have to get on the bicycle. So the program that we have designed, or what Global Health does best, we come to countries, we identify the issues. Let's say a need for a hospital. We will then reach out to our team. We will design a hospital that fits the community. We will also equip the hospital, and we also help the country or the community find funding. And also we train doctors. So the approach that we are using right now in Gabon, and I always talk about, we are setting up a training program for heart surgery, where in 2.5 years, they can have 2 heart surgeons, 2 cardiac anesthesiology, because heart surgery also requires specialized anesthesiology, 2 perfusionists. The perfusionist's job is to make sure that their blood is pumped to the rest of the organ, especially the brain. Now, without 3 minutes of oxygen, the brain dies. So these are some of the things, and it's a model that has never been done because of the fact that we are the last people that a lot of Western worlds think about. So, and it's not it's not a cheap program. Like Gabon, we are looking at about a $12 million program, but it's a $30 million program. But it will pay for itself in 2.5 years. Because now, based on the estimates that they talk about, they are spending about $12 million a year sending people out to go get heart surgery. So why do we do that? Why do we waste money? Of course, we are wasting money instead of building our own capacity. So, if we bring the people from the United States to come live in Gabon or to come live in Uganda for 2.5 years, let's say in the case of microsurgery, yes. I'm a microsurgeon by training. I'm a plastic surgeon first, and then I went to Harvard and I studied microsurgery. And you know, to talk about some of the things I've done, I have reattached over 27 fingers. You know, in a year I reattached 27 fingers, which was unheard of. I have successfully reattached an arm. You know, these are skill sets that I think every country needs, because accidents are bound to happen. You know, you can't learn microsurgery by coming and watching. So by identifying the need, just like she said, we can set up a microsurgery training program. And thank God there are already plastic surgeons who know the fundamentals of surgery, and we can train them. So this is some of the things that we do outside from Restore, the charity that we do, that we can help countries build capacity in personnel and also in healthcare, because a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor.
2020, this year we are booked for Restore. You know, all the volunteers work for free. Everybody who comes in and spend a week, they come in because of the love of mankind. They come in for the love of people. They want to help. You know, and nobody gets paid. They volunteer. The only thing that we do as a foundation is we're raising up money in the country where we are coming to pay for their airplane and their plane fare, make sure they have security, hotel, and then transportation to the hospital and back. And that's what we ask the countries to take care of. And I think nobody has to pay me. I'm blessed. I'm making enough, and I'm very happy to come and serve. So 2020. So we are going to work with Lingo and Dr. Robert. We're going to work with them to see what kind of needs they have. And the way it works, you know, they will tell us what they want to do, and we find people who are very good in what they want to do, and we bring them. We spend a week. We all work together. So what we have done in Ghana, they usually will shot the plastic surgery. They will do half and half. I don't know how many operating rooms they have. We using the teaching hospital. So the residents. So initially we'll come in. We'll give lectures. First day, we screen patients together. We identify who we can do, and whatever you guys want to do, we bring that in terms of the capacity and build it. And then I will stay. Usually all the volunteers will leave after the first week, because they have to go to work. They have to go support their families. In the United States, if you miss a day of work, you don't get paid. So they have to go back. But usually I will stay for a few more days for post-op care, just to make sure that any complication that arises, we can address it and take care of it. And then we hand over the keys to you guys, and we also left you guys. So that's basically how our Restore works. So from now until the day, so we have to set dates in 2020. We'll find times that you guys are not too busy. I remember in Ghana I used to go in June, but June was a bad time for them, because that's when they took the West Africa exams. So they said, no, you can't, because we want to do classes, we don't learn about it, so we have to study. So you guys can give me times that are not too busy. This year we are doing Ghana, we're doing Gabon. Gabon is our first trip this year, from June 8th to June 15th. And then we're doing Kenya. We're doing Kenya, I think, in September this year. And then we do Ghana in October. And that's the most I can do at this point. Every year I try to give 2 months of my time for free and, help people. And when you help people, God helps you more. And I'm truly blessed, and that's why I can give back. So that's how it works. So you guys let me know what you need, and we do it. And then when it comes to the microsurgery, we can also talk about it and set up a microsurgery unit for you guys. Well, of course, we have to bring the microsurgeons to come live here, and we have to pay them, and we can get grants to do that, and that's a different story.
Okay, I think it would be appropriate that I give 1 or 2 minutes to Robert.
Mr. Robert.